and welcome to tonight's call or video rather. I'm doing this a little differently tonight, just in lieu of the holidays, and figured it'll be easy for most to just hop on here and come back to this when you can. This will still be available for you to go back to and watch when you want. So, anyway, welcome. I am Taryn Garsick, and I am a Star Diamond coach. I'm in the downline of Limitless Nation, and my team is Courageous with Grace. Um, Sometimes I can ramble, so I'm going to do my best tonight to just stay short, sweet, and to the point. And tonight I'm going to go over expanding your network. So, first, expanding your network is a term that we use often, and I think a lot of people are like, what does that even mean? We also use the term warm market. So let's start with that. So your warm market on Facebook is basically and outside of Facebook too, but your warm market is basically everyone you already know personally. So your family, your friends, people you went to high school with, people you went to college with, your coworkers. So, expanding your network basically means gaining exposure and going beyond those people that you already know and growing your audience and your relationships outside of those people, your warm market. Now, first and foremost, I just want you guys to know that tonight I'm going to mostly be focusing on Facebook. I think there are some amazing ways in other social networks to expand, especially Instagram. There are some coaches who really have a huge following over there. But one of the biggest tips I get often from some of the top coaches that I find to be true and effective is to first find your niche network. Whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it might be, but find your niche network, learn it well, do it well, and master it. And then once you've got one down and one that you feel like, okay, this is my thing. This is, when you've grown your network and you feel like you've gotten to a point where it's there. Then move on to the next network. And you'll have a built-in following by saying, hey, now I'm on Instagram, go follow me there. So, again, tonight, Facebook is where it's at. So I'm literally going to just go down the list of some simple things that some of you might know already, but some of you might not. Just simple things that are ways that I've massively grown my network over the last year and a half. I was told from the beginning by some uplines that it is crucial and really big to do if you want your business to grow. So from day one, it's something that I really worked towards. And so I'm just going to lay it all out there. So first I want to talk about public settings on your page and friend requests. And I know this is something a lot of people struggle with in regards to privacy on social media, but here's the deal. Nothing comes from staying comfortable. And we say that a lot because it's the truth. And big top successful coaches did not get where they are by keeping the same 300 or 400 Facebook friends that they had since they started. So, in fact, many of them have thousands upon thousands of people who follow them daily. If you look at Brandy Bots and, our upline who are, top elite coaches, they have thousands of followers and they live their life in the public eye. So that's just something to think about if you really want this and want this to grow into something big for you. Um, if you want your business to grow and you want to go beyond making this just a little hobby, you need to rip off that band-aid and find a way to do this while still feeling comfortable. So every single day, you need to be sending out friend requests as part of your power hour. And you can do this in a few ways. The most simplest way, and I think most of you know this, but we have a lot of new coaches, so I just want to address it, is the people you may know route, which you should always be doing as it's one of the easiest ways to find people. But basically, Facebook gives you a whole category of people you may know or friend suggestions. And it's one of the easiest ways to find people because the people that show up there usually will show mutual friends. So I started friending those people who had 10 or more mutual friends with me. Because if you think of yourself when you get a friend request from someone, if you don't recognize their name, what's the first thing you look at? Well, how many mutual friends do I have with this person? So that's how I started. I was friending people who have 10 or more mutual friends with me. If by the end of the week, I give them a week, actually 5 days. So if I friend on Monday, I give them till Friday. If they don't accept my friend request, I just go back in and I actually delete them off. Um, so now a longer way of doing this, but a way that will literally never give you a reason to say, well, I have no one else to friend, is going down your friends list daily. Okay, so say you pick 4 friends a day to do this with. You can go down your friends list, even one a day, but then look at their friends. And the cool thing about Facebook is that if you do this, Facebook will actually pull up their friends who have the most mutual friends with you and list them first. So Facebook really does a lot of the legwork for you. So take advantage and literally go through and send those friend requests, because you can go down you could pick one friend and you can go through 5 of their friends a day. That will last you so long. So let this make you aware that you really cannot run out of people to friend, because um, you know, you can go through people you may know, but then you're looking at your friends and going through it that way too. um, Another big thing that I do that I have found very effective is commenting and starting light discussions on my friends' posts. So firstly, it gets you into your friends' newsfeed, obviously by communicating on their page. A lot of you have gone through social media training, but for those of you who haven't, basically, if you're not communicating on friends' Facebook walls or their pictures or whatever, you are not going to show up in their newsfeed. So by making little comments on their posts or commenting on a picture, that gets you into their feed. But the biggest thing to me is the opportunity to connect with new people on their posts. So what I do, it's a little sneaky, is I'll write a comment on a friend's post. And then a few hours later, I will go to my notifications and I will see who else commented on her posts. And I'll look through the people, and if a comment or a person catches my eye, I'll reply to their specific comment. Facebook has that great little option now where you can actually see the little reply button attached to a person's comment. So I'll actually reply to their comment if I agree with them or if I have a question to ask about what they wrote. Um, Sometimes I'll make a joke and make them laugh, and I get a nice little mini back and forth conversation started with this person who is commenting on their posts. Um, and after a few back and forths, I will send them a friend request. And bam, you just made a new Facebook friend just by commenting on a friend's Facebook status or picture. Um, I've also started doing that same thing in Facebook groups, and this is something new for me. I only started doing this maybe 2 or 3 months ago because I was looking for new ways to expand my network, and it has become so effective. I'm like addicted. So with groups, when I say groups, I mean outside of Beachbody and Fitness Land, and outside of um, that whole niche of people. So for example, I recently became part of a Disney moms group, and all it is literally a group of moms and dads who discuss their vacations and planning, and they post reviews of their trips at Disney. So what I do is I'll go into the group, and I will, look at people's posts or photos or little reviews that they wrote, and I just comment on people's posts, and I start up a conversation either with the poster or, like I said before, about like when I go on my friends' walls, sometimes I'll comment to the other commenters, and I just get little back and forths going with these people, and that too, you can search the group's members and it'll tell you if you have a few mutual friends. And sometimes you do, because usually you're added to those groups by friends. So um, it's just a great way to start friending people that you have at least that similar interest with. And you can do this with any group, be it Disney, be it Stitch Fix, be it a home interior decorating group that you're a part of. I don't know, whatever Facebook groups you are a part of outside of Beachbody and challenge groups. But you can do this in any groups. I've literally made friends even in yard sale groups. Um, not that I'm looking to buy anything, but I'll just go in and browse. And sometimes in the comments of like a post of something I like, I'll even notice somebody's profile picture and I will literally throw out something random and say something like, "Hey, I know this is totally off topic, but I can't help notice your hair. Are you local? And if so, where do you get it done?" Now, usually they'll either answer yes, they're local and they'll give you the place, or they'll be like, "Haha, that's so funny. No, I'm not." And you start a little lighthearted conversation again. So, all of those little things are so key in making new friends, because I think a lot of people think they're limited to the people you may know and suggestions that Facebook gives. And that's great and it's easy, but I've had coaches literally say to me, "Well, I have nobody left to friend. All the people I friended already," or they're like random people that I don't really know, and there's so many other outlets to do. So don't ever feel like you've friended, that you've maxed out your friending, because it's impossible. Um, Now, another thing that's fantastic that I really think is overlooked, and it's so simple, is asking for referrals. If you're not asking for referrals, you are missing out on one of the easiest ways to connect with new people, especially with the free clean eating challenges that we run. I will always message those people who say that they're interested. And, I'll set them up. I'll say, "I'm so excited that you're joining," whatever, whatever. Once they're definitely like in, I say, "Hey, I encourage you, invite 5 friends and just let me know if they end up joining so I can connect with them." Simple. And usually people are really excited. And most of the time, people end up adding friends, and it's usually more than 5. And it's just awesome because it's instant. It's usually like they add them, they introduce you, bam, new Facebook friend. So, another thing is turn your nose into an opportunity. So if someone ends up not going through on a sale or saying no to a challenge group, use it as an opportunity to say, "I totally understand it's not the right time for you, and that's okay, and I'll be here when you're ready. But in the meantime, please let me know if you have any family or friends that have been or you think would be interested, because I would love to connect with them." And it's just planting a seed, because you know what? Maybe the next week they'll be in conversation with a friend and something comes up and they say, "You know what? My friend is a Beachbody coach and here's her name." And now you have them referring people to you. I have a few people who, even in challenge groups, that have never purchased a thing from me, but they refer me people regularly. And that is huge. Word of mouth and referrals are a big, big deal when you're trying to grow your network. Um, and another thing that I do for people that do refer people to me is incentives and little goodies. And it's just a personal thing that I like to do. It gives people a nice little personal touch. And um, what I mean is, well, basically, people love free stuff and they love to feel special. So when someone tells me that they were referred to me, I immediately ask them, who referred you? And I will write that person's name down and I keep track. And if that person refers 2 or more people to me, I'll just mail them a little thank you note with a $5 or $10 gift card to either Starbucks or Amazon or just a Visa gift card. Um, and if they send 5 or more, sometimes I'll send them a $15 gift card. Whatever you want to do, it could be little as just a thank you note, really, and a sample pack of Shakeology. Sometimes I do that if I know it's someone who's not on auto ship and they refer me a bunch of people. I'll send them some Shakeology packets or even a shaker cup with a thank you note inside. And it's just something personal that people appreciate. And guess what? Once they get a taste of getting those goodies, they usually end up referring more people. And they usually tell the people they refer to refer people because you'll send them goodies. So um, it's just great. It's fun, and you feel like Santa when you do it, and people love it. Um, Expanding your network should never end. Not ever. This should be something that you do daily in your power hour, always. Like I said, obviously there's coaches who've been doing this for way longer than me, but I've been doing this for almost April will be 2 years for me this coming April. So, and I still, every day I'm friend requesting and trying to connect with people. So, um, and I have to say, the most important thing, um, because you're continually gaining new audience members, I like to call them that, because you're continually gaining a new audience, you must keep sharing your story. If you look at successful coaches, and I say this, I think, on every call that I host, but if you look at successful coaches, many of them share their story as much as like weekly and every few days. And why? It's because they continually are growing their network and they continually have new people watching. So you don't want someone new to jump on your friend and they have no idea that you're even a coach. So if you're expanding your network, the new people you're connecting with need to see and hear what you do. So never feel like you've shared something too many times. Last week, I actually copy and pasted a post I made that came up on my time hop from last year, but I was like, this was a great post, so I copy and pasted it, and I just posted it with new pictures. And that's fine because the friends from back then will never remember, and your new friends are seeing it for the first time. Um, Also, guys, you have got to get comfortable with setting your posts to public. Um, you can do this while keeping the rest of your page and certain photos and albums private if you absolutely must. You can use your privacy settings on your status bar to set certain posts to public if you'd like to keep the rest of your page private. But I cannot tell you how many inquiries and connections I've made with those who saw their friend commenting on my stuff. I actually just had someone this week. This was a really big deal for me. But I had someone message me last week telling me, hey, Taryn, my sister has apparently been creeping on me, commenting on your posts, and she's really interested in learning more about what you do. This was huge. I messaged her back immediately and said, I would love to connect with your sister. Can you add her here? Like in our little messenger, message. So she added her. She said, hey, this is Taryn, the girl whose posts you've been watching. And I offered to put her in a glimpse group. She was in a glimpse group. And this morning she signed up as a coach. So had my posts not been set to public, my Beachbody posts, my income posts, all those things, had they not been set to public, she would have never seen them. I would have never connected with her. And, that's a huge opportunity loss because now she's a new coach on our team. And, if you have kids or there are certain things that you don't want public, that's fine, even though I think you're still limiting yourself, but set your other posts to public and get it seen. Forget the haters. And, if you're afraid of like hackers and people out there, the way I feel is people who do that are going to hack you anyway. so, um, so don't miss out on opportunity. Get outside your comfort zone and just do it and give yourself the exposure that you deserve. Um, and you guys, so important. This is probably the most important thing. Um, don't work to expand your network and then forget about all these new friends that you're making. Um, Otherwise, you won't show up in their news feeds. And what I mean by that is the point is to make these new friends and then connect with them and start building a relationship. So don't bombard their page, but after they accept your friend request, slowly and surely and gently start commenting on their photos, on their posts, on their statuses, and just start planting seeds and laying a little foundation that'll get you in their newsfeed so they can gain interest in you. So just don't forget that because there's no point in growing your network and growing your network and growing your network if none of your stuff is going to be seen. And to be seen, you need to be on their Facebook page. So your like page, if you guys have one, which you all should. I do have a love-hate relationship with mine, but you should make one. Um, it's a great way to make new friends and get yourself out way outside your warm market. So something I recently started doing, which I should have been doing from the get, is sending personal friend requests to every single person that likes my like page. So what I do is before I send it, I send a message from my like page messenger so they get it and they're not creeped out by some stranger sending them a message. But I'll shoot them a quick message and I'll just say, hey, if you don't mind, first I'll thank them. Thank you for liking my page. I appreciate it so much. If you have health and fitness goals, yada, 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 just a little welcome message. And then I'll say, if you don't mind, I would love to also shoot you a friend request from my personal page. If not, I totally understand and you can just enjoy my like page, but I share a lot of posts on my personal page and they really go hand in hand. So if you don't mind, I would love to connect there also. 90% of the time, people say yes. And then usually a back and forth conversation starts too. So it's a really great way. If you have a like page and you have, 500 likes already and you haven't done that, I encourage you to go through, pick 20 people a day and just start messaging them and start sending them friend requests. Because you'll have a whole new audience seeing your personal page. Um, Creating events is also a great way to get new people seeing you. I actually created an event today for the holiday Black Friday sale. Um, and I only invited current and existing customers. I'm very careful with those big promotional sales because you don't want them to take away from your potential challenge pack buyers and new customers. So I only invited current and existing customers on my friends list, but I set the event to public. So every time someone joins and says that they're going, they don't even have to comment on anything. Anytime someone clicks yes that they're going, that shows up in their newsfeed and all of their Facebook friends see it. And people might be like, hey, what is this? And I titled it, pre-holiday Team Beachbody, pre-holiday Black Friday sale. So it's just a great little way, whether you guys do it for that, whether you create an event to invite people to challenge groups or clean eating groups. Um, our groups are private, but you can set up an event to invite people and make that public. So I'm starting to talk fast and ramble, and I hope this helped a bit. I know it was a little short and sweet too, but I feel like this is an area that a lot of people struggle with. And the bottom line is it doesn't have to be that complicated, and it's a lot easier to grow your network than it seems. People sometimes will see, a higher up coach's amount of friends and be like, oh my gosh, well, she has 2,000 Facebook friends, so that's why she's, successful. I only have 200. But let me tell you, those coaches started out the same way. We all started with little. We all, some coaches jump into this and they only joined Facebook to coach. So it's really just the work you put into it and the effort you put into it and getting creative and finding new ways to connect with people. So um, the bottom line is if you want this and if you want your business to grow, it's time to start getting uncomfortable or comfortable with doing this and just going for it. And, please know that we're all here for you guys too. So if you do need to expand, your network but are nervous about it or have certain reservations like the ones that I mentioned, just shoot one of us uplines a message and, we would be happy to help you kind of ease into it while still keeping you comfortable. If you want to keep certain things private and whatnot. But I hope this helped. I hope I didn't talk too fast for you guys. And I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you to anyone who gets on and checks this out. So good luck, you guys. And I know you can do it. Grow that friends list.